Hello, it's me, Pavlo, your reliable guide in portable and not so portable audio world. And today we'll be talking about FiiO K9. I already did 2 videos in the past about K9's Pro. I reviewed K9 Pro limited edition built on AKM digital tonal converter, and then FiiO released regular or ESS version of K9 Pro built on 9038. But it looks to me that FiiO trying to deliver the best maximum value exactly in the desktop DAC and amplifier combos, because they released really low priced K7 with great sound and pretty powerful amplification, and now they released this K9 not Pro version, and actually they really did a lot of effort in trying to reduce some features of K9 Pro, but to do it as few efforts in this aspect as possible. So its recommended price, if I remember well, is $500. And what changed compared to much more expensive flagship? It's here used not 9038 but 9068 ESS chip. Also they reduced a little bit output power. It still uses THX amplifier, it still has Bluetooth, and it delivers up to 1.5 watts for 32 ohms load from the balanced out, and about 200 milliwatts for 300 ohms load. And K9 Pro is 2.1 watt and 281 milliwatt respectively. So basically almost no reductions in terms of specs, but you're getting same rich amount of inputs and outputs, with one minor exception. It doesn't have that USB Type-C input that is present on the side of K9 Pro for some smartphone or stuff like that. Besides that, all inputs outputs are here, and actually it has one feature that is better than K9 Pro. It supports higher resolutions, up to 768 kHz for 32 bits and DSD 512. But let's be honest, there is not much content in this resolution, and I don't think it makes any practical sense, and it won't be benefit in vast majority of cases. So let's have a closer look. As you can see, package is nice. It's an old style FiiO box, looking really great. And let's go and see what we have inside. Once again, we're getting this warning about proper voltage selection. Quick start guide, looks pretty solid. And amplifier itself, I will move it out later. So far let it stay in the box because I don't have much free space on the table. And let's dig here. So basically all you need to start using it: power cord, USB cord, some port protectors, adapter from the 3.5 to 6.3 millimeters, spare fuse, and some rubber sticky fits that you can use with it. And also, as a free bonus, you're getting this stand if you want to install it and use vertically on your table. So, in terms of design, we've seen this chassis before. It's really familiar, really well made. It's pretty heavy, made of good metal, and if you apply this self-adhesive fits, it will stay on the table really well and reliably. I didn't glue them yet, but we'll do it a bit later after the photo session for this device. It's like black, all square, with a bit of fancy edges and bevels, but in general you can see that design is like in FiiO sci-fi style. They have two different styles they apply to different devices. This one is Sci-Fi. So here we've got some vent holes, and you can even look inside some devices based on renders and videos provided by FiiO. It's pretty complex in internal design. And from the other side you can see that a lot of things are put here. So nothing on top. On the bottom we've got that voltage toggle that we have a warning on that orange piece of paper in the box. On the front we've got 3 outputs, so Pentagon 6.3mm single-ended and 4-pin XLR for the full-size headphones and your fancy cables. Then we've got this knob, and here it's analog knob with circle indicator around it, so volume regulation is pretty nice, almost zero channel imbalance, and it rotates nice and slowly, so you can easily adjust volume in the necessary amount. Also we've got output selector, line out, preamplifier and headphones out. Line out and preamplifier, one is with changing volume, second is with fixed. 3 level of gains, on off button, and with short press it works as mute. And also input selector, and you can see all that LEDs indicating possible inputs: USB, optical, coaxial, line and Bluetooth in. So let's see the rear side, it's also really exciting. So here is power socket, here we've got fuse and also like global on-off button. Usually you won't need it, just turn it off with that button on the front, but if you want to completely turn it off, you can do it here. Then Bluetooth antenna, and actually it's not replaceable or changeable here. Also coaxial and optical input, and of course our main source of engagement, USB in. Also there is balanced in, it's Pentagon here, and left-right channels line in. Also preamplifier and line out, and 2 balanced outputs, classical 3 contact XLR connectors. Let's engage the fun. So I turn it on and it's instantly switched on in the USB mode. So by pressing input button I can toggle different inputs, and here in the Bluetooth it will be waiting for the connection. And circular multicolor indicator around the volume knob is almost invisible, but it's blinking with red and blue now, showing that it's awaiting the connection. And also by long pressing this button I can put it to sleep. Also it has a companion application, actually FiiO Control works with it. You need to connect your device via Bluetooth to this device, and via Bluetooth you will be able to control channel balance and filter. It's main things you can change. Also you can turn on and off indicators. Also you can engage equalizer, but it will work only for the Bluetooth input, no equalization for USB and other digital or line inputs. That's because equalization is made by XMOS, sorry, not XMOS, of course, by Bluetooth chip. And for USB here used XMOS, which is created just to get the digital signal, digitter it and pass to digital to analog converter purely. So in terms of design and features, you can see that this device is packed at maximum. You can use it as all-in-one combo, you can use it as a pure digital to analog converter or just pure amplifier, so pretty universal and fit into your any possible setup. So here is companion app, traditional design, we've seen that many times before, photo of the device, name, Bluetooth codec and hypothetical bandwidth. And also here in settings, Bluetooth version, you can set custom device name, upgrade firmware, clean pairings, reset settings and put it to the standby mode. And here on the main screen you can select UAC 1.0 mode. It's for compatibility with some older devices. In UAC 1.0 mode you're getting lower resolution, but it works with old devices better. Or actually just works, because for many devices UAC 1.0 is the only possible solution. And to get like high res, DSD and stuff, you need to enable 2.0. Also you can select status indicator pattern of default or like multicolored gradient if you'd like, and you can select the brightness you'd like to see. Also you can select what Bluetooth codecs should it support, and you can select input source. Here is equalizer. It's disabled by default, but just like traditional equalizer we've seen many times. In the audio settings you can select low pass filter, 3 of them available for this device, and the channel balance. And also you can see quick guide. Actually it's not fully translated, or it's just 2 languages in one, so you can easily understand what's what here. And of course about the sound, I tested it via USB connection mainly with my MacBook, but for now, just for illustration purposes, it's connected via Bluetooth to FiiO M17, because the only thing I need is to just show you some example tracks. I won't be building some improvised setup with headphones or stuff like that, but I tested a lot of headphones, earphones and other stuff. So, few additional notices. First one, it's really good in holding connection via Bluetooth. If you have some decent transmitter, even thin walls won't be an issue for this device. Also, delay for games and videos are almost unnoticeable thanks to the XMOS chip, so pretty good results here. But usually when you have dedicated USB controller chip, it's always a good device. And in general, in terms of value, it's a really great device, because roughly speaking, I don't like this way of estimations, but it's like 85-90% of sound of K9 Pro. So basically it's really close to K9 Pro, except of a bit worse treble refinement, and also slightly smaller stage, probably also caused by treble. Otherwise you're getting the similar control, nice amount of power, a bit reduced, but still more than enough for vast majority of load, and also you're getting that great dynamics and precision. FiiO did a lot of job to make it so, like they built in good linear power supply to feed all that, and pretty advanced technologies. Nothing like super fancy, like resistor ladders or something like that, but just good digital to analog converter, good USB controller, nice clock chips, good capacitors, nice amplification, and you're putting properly all good components, and you're getting like good device, greatly performing in FiiO typical style. So, bass goes deep, it's not accented, it has really good resolution, it has nice slam and punch, it has a bit of added dynamics, so sometimes it's making slight accent on additional impact. But it's not like much, so it's not that like additional bass or something like that. It's just a bit of additional wow factor, but it's not overdone absolutely. And it's great with genres where you need just pure bass power, and it's also good for genres where you need refinement or where you need punch, where you need precision and control. So electronic music, some complex things like double bass, I don't know, low notes of organ or fortepiano or something like that, all just really good, well controlled, without bleeding onto mids, with nice control and stuff. So, first example, it's Casey Abrams, Cougartown, just a good, well recorded thing with double bass, and it sounds really pleasant and enjoyable without exaggeration of instrument, without some highlighting or stuff like that. And another example, it's also about double bass, but just from another part of the world and from another historical period. It's Yugoslavian band Bijelo dugme, Ovaj ples, dami, biraju. Really great thing, performed in dark cabaret style with slow percussions and double bass, forming that noir atmosphere of some underground club, and pretty interesting in terms of text, but for us it's double bass important here, and you're getting a great sense of realism and just diving into that atmosphere. So mid frequencies are also like really good, linear, natural with great resolution, but without too much focus on the micro contrast, so they doesn't sound dry. They have a bit of added dynamics. It's like FiiO's signature feature for recent releases, like for a year or even more. And thanks to that dynamics, when emotions are recorded well in track, you get them presented in a really impressive and highlighted way. But at the same time, it's also not too much, and you're just getting like maximum driving energetic performance, but not overdoing that. Of course, on some slow or quiet tracks it won't be doing that, so you'll get more emotions when you'll need it. So imaginary stage is pretty big, above average in width and in depth, width slightly better than depth, but a bit smaller compared to the K9 Pro, both versions here. But still good three-dimensional positioning, proper sizes of instruments, and all that you can expect here. And it's not super critical for the quality of material, but of course better material will be good for it. Nice distribution of weight that suits well to the male vocals, and enough of technicality and speed and resolution to highlight female voices when it's necessary. And let's see. First example, it's Aladdin Sane by Bowie. Everyone knows this track, and I like Bowie's voice most of all, but usually it's the case for every single track he created. And it sounds really brilliant with good sense of realism. I didn't have an opportunity to hear Bowie live, but I'm comparing with really good expensive speaker setup I've auditioned at my friend's place. So I'm comparing to really good gear. So for me that is the representation of realistic here. And non-traditional audiophile track, it's Ephel Duath, and it's kind of really avant-garde, really unusual black metal, and a lot of interesting things, and track named Praha or Ancient Gold, but it still has that black metal foundation underneath. Really great band if you like some eclectic and unusual music, and of course it requires good performance, but at the same time not recorded really well, so good performance also required to dig the maximum out of this track, and this device do it without too much concern. Treble is also really good. I'd probably call them great, but K9 Pro still does a bit better. Treble has really good extension, not maximum, but really nice, with great saturation of both basic and extended overtones. It's not a device for those who need something like comfortable treble or reduced. No, you get all treble that is present in the track, and it will be honest. So if track is bright or sibilant, you'll get it, especially if your earphones are bright. But it's just the way it should be, in my opinion. I can enjoy sometimes softer and warmer representation, but in vast majority of situations treble should be absolutely natural and like here. Layering is good, but not the great, and it's basically the most noticeable difference with K9 Pro. With K9 Pro you're getting a bit of better separation of that trails or that overtones of different instruments that goes to the higher frequencies, and that gives you an even bit more audiophilic representation with even better representation of timbre-rich instruments and also a better stage. But for $500 I don't have any complaints here for the treble too. And first example, it's Hoff Ensamble, and it's it's calm music but recorded in a really superb and high quality way. It's mainly acoustic jazz, but with some variations, and Hoff Ensemble, I know about 2 their albums, hopefully there will be more, and it's just really superbly recorded, and that means that we need great performance of the treble to show all that richness of instruments. It's a bit behind K9 Pro, but in general performs pretty well with this track, especially with good technical headphones. And another track, you understand why it's here, it's Miles Davis, Blue in Green, like classics of classics, and of course it requires good treble performance to highlight everything and represent it fully, and in this case actually almost zero questions to this device. Really decent treble performance for this track. Not like superb, but on a really good level. Speaking about the pairings, it's also really universal. Almost zero hum with sensitive in-ear monitors. Of course, be careful and not turn gain too high. And pretty nice amount of power to drive like a lot of full-size headphones, including high impedance one. It's not perfect for some really tough to drive planars, but that headphones are not oftenly met on the market. Really great combination actually with FiiO's own FT3, but probably it's something we can expect here. So pretty universal in this aspect. So if you're looking for the universal device, and if you're limited on budget, it's better usually to get something good enough to be universal, and that's exactly the case. Even if you'll be switching some headphones, earphones, and you'll be pretty okay with this device for many years. Speaking about the comparison, so basically just FiiO stuff, because I didn't test desktop digital tonal converters and amplifiers of similar level for quite a long time. So compared to K7, it's a noticeable step forward. It's like I can say that it's worth that extra $300, or what is the price difference here. And it's more mature, more dynamic, with better control, more resolution, and more natural and detailed representation. Compared to K9 Pro, everything became like a bit more sophisticated, because this device is best in terms of price to quality ratio or by value, but K9 Pro is still a bit better, and if you want like to squeeze a bit more of your headphones, it's also a good idea to get K9 Pro. It's a good addition to the FiiO's R7, improving dynamics and treble resolution, but to get a maximum step forward, it's also worth considering K9 Pro, of course. Also good pairing with some active speakers with that XLR output and RCA, like good pairing for FiiO's own SP3 and like many other models. Probably it's time to summarize this review, and you can easily understand my conclusion. It's really great device with great value, and another win for FiiO. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.